Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is Sunday morning. Thank you so much for being here. I have my coffee. How about you? Oh my goodness. Goodness gracious. I'm having technical difficulties already. Let me see. Oh goodness. Let me see if I can get this worked out. I have my coffee. All right. Thank you all so much for being here. Sorry about the delay, having the fun technical difficulties that I almost always have. You'd think I'd be a professional by now, but I am not. Thank you so much for being here. Where's your coffee? I don't know. Where is it? I have mine right here. It's my second one of these. But this is only halfway full now because I've already had a full one and I'm not trying to like run out of here already. You know what I'm saying? Mm, delicious. Jen, thank you for being here, Jen. I appreciate you very much. I don't think you understand exactly how much I appreciate you, but I appreciate you so very, very much. And yesterday you helped me out so much with asking some really great questions when I was talking with Steve. So thank you again for that. Mr. Gugahan, thank you for being here. You did a wonderful job yesterday for helping me out as well. Thank you so much. That actually was a little nerve wracking for me because I've never really interacted with him before. Almost everybody that I've had on so far, I've interacted or met in person. So it was a little more, like I said, nerve wracking. I was a little nervous, wasn't quite sure how it was going to go because I haven't interacted with him outside of some emails or maybe a couple of comments here or there from, in YouTube comments on his channel. So it went pretty good as far as, yeah. This is Nespresso pods. We have a Nespresso K cup combo maker or whatever you want to call it. And this is two of the large Nespresso or the regular espresso pods, not the new fancy ones, but just the normal ones. The large setting, 2 of those with some heavy cream. That means a lot to me, John. I got it. I had, if you look at my channel, I have 11 episodes of podcasts that I did early on in my channel, and I think those were a little more clunky, and I've been on a lot of live streams, a lot of other people's channels where we talk, and I think just repetition helps that a lot. But I really do appreciate that. That means a lot to me because one of those things is you don't always get feedback like that from people, and you're not quite sure how you're doing. You're not sure quite where you are in that. So I mean, that really does mean a lot to me. Good morning, Kate. I don't know if you've been here before. Correct me if I'm wrong, but welcome, welcome. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, and I'm so very glad you're here with us today. Jeannie, thank you so much. Good morning. Good morning. Says, I make it look easy. Like, that's what I like the Tonight Show or because I don't feel that it's very conducive to a good watching experience. And I wouldn't wanna watch something that's clunky or that's not, like, conversational. So, yeah. Okay. Big B Marauder. Oh, you met me a while back in person, huh? I think that's my brother, Big B, drives a Marauder, maybe. I don't know, I could be wrong. Welcome, welcome, Cindy. I'm glad you're here. I've missed you. I hope you're doing well. So, the difficulties this morning is I decided to try StreamYard has now opened up the ability to stream to Instagram. So I filtered this. I have the option to stream to 3 different platforms. So obviously YouTube is gonna be the primary. I'm, streaming to Twitter, and I'm streaming to Instagram today instead of Facebook, just to see how that goes, to see how much, if any interaction or, all that stuff goes on there. Just trying to see where people wanna watch. Okay, okay, she said so Kate says she lurks, usually we met a couple times at Keto Palooza and a couple indie oh, that's wonderful. Thank you, I appreciate it, and I'm glad to have met you. Um, anyway, the meetups and everything, they're a whirlwind, but thank you so much, and I'm looking forward to getting everything ready for our next keto meetup here in Indy. That'll probably be sometime in May. Nothing solidified yet as far as May, but that'll be a time where it's not too hot. We just gotta get it in before we have, the Indy 500 and all that, where that puts a damper on being able to get through the city and to the venue for the meetup. So it is a little more. You have to enter your stream key and go live and hit live on Instagram as well. And there's no way to mute it, so I had to turn my speakers off. So there's that. Yeah, okay, 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 alright. I appreciate that, okay, I understand now, I remember you. Fantastic. Yeah, first we get that's the derby, yeah, 100%. Alright, I love you, Leaky. That's my little brother, my tiny little brother, he's 4 years younger than me. I love you, hope you get some good rest, okay? Talk call me later. Uncle Big Guy, hello, howdy, howdy. Let's see. I think Steve was exactly the right people reacted to his first Keto Brick review because of the great admiration for Robert and Crystal. Yeah, I watched that review like I told him, and I didn't see anything wrong with the way he reacted. I think trying a product like that and I think that Keto Brick is kind of a divisive product anyway. Either you really like it or it's disgusting to you because it's salty, it's kinda grainy, there's not really any room for middle ground, and I respect what Robert does. I have a lot of admiration for Robert and his family, and the fact that they are putting together a product like Keto Brick because Keto Brick being a 1,000 calorie protein-rich keto meal on the go, basically, that's got really good macros and as clean ingredients you can make it. I think it's really a good product, but I don't fault anybody for not liking the way that it tastes or the way the texture because texture is a huge thing for a lot of people. So, I think that they have a great product. It's not my favorite keto product. We have some of the Bell's brownie batter stuff in the pantry. Um, it's good, but it's not something that I buy and store and keep tons and tons of them. I have, like, 5 of them in the pantry, but they're oddly addictive, so once you open one and you start to eat it, then you can't stop, kinda. So that's something that bothers me a little bit on a personal level because once I start eating it, it's sweet, it's salty, and I just have to finish eating it. So, like, if I'm not ready to have 1,000 calories right then, then that's an issue for me. And I haven't got to the point where I'm melting it down and putting it into, um, molds or anything like that because we don't eat them often enough. So, you know, I have to go back and watch an Interview with Steve, only caught the last part, was in Tennessee with my sister. Oh, well, that's fun. I hope you had a good time. Cindy does not like keto brick at all, Brian does. Yeah, that's like I said, it's divisive. But it's a good solid product. It's like Keto Chow, where not everybody is going to like Keto Chow, and that was when we started trying Keto Chow in the very beginning, when we did our first reviews and such. I was extremely excited. I got some free packets from the very first indie meetup I went to, which was a little over a year ago, like a year and a week, year and 2 weeks ago, where I met Jackie and Jen, and I met, well, Jen Lucas. I don't believe that Jen Delaney was there at that one, but Ready Set Keto was, Dawn Does Keto was there, Bob was there. There was a lot of people there that are still in the community today, and it's fantastic. But I was able to get a bunch of packets of Keto Chow for the first time, and when we tried them, we were underwhelmed. And they were some of the first gin flavors like vanilla and such like that. I think I had and then when we did try, I think the one flavor we really did like was the 2 Crazy Ketos caramel macchiato. That was really good. And we've been trying flavors for a while, and the new flavors they're coming out with, I think they're getting better and better and better. Each flavor that comes out is getting better and stronger. The butterscotch is amazing. I've been drinking it hot. Last night, I had a hot chocolate, like the OG chocolate keto chow. I made it hot, and it's amazing. I can sit back at the end of the night and have a nice hot keto chow, and it's yummy. But that was a struggle for us in the beginning because, we want to support companies like Keto Chow. We wanna support companies like Keto Brick, because they are pillars of the community, not just products of the community. Chris and Miriam and Lynette, they're always involved in our community. They're in our live chats. They show up to Keto Palooza. I know it's because of their company and such, but Lynette's even said even if Keto Chow isn't there, she would show up to Keto Palooza. So I think, that's amazing to me. And I want to support companies and people like that because small businesses are very difficult and we lose companies all the time. Look at what happened with Perfect Keto. Now, I'm not exactly 100% sure all of the details of Perfect Keto, though I understand that, like, the original owner is buying out the company and they're changing directions. They're no longer gonna have a lot of the products that we were fans of and we were affiliates to endorse. We were huge fans of the macaroni and cheese and the Nola bars, and they had just sent me a bunch of different products to try. I hadn't even got a chance to really try them and review them for you all, and now this is to the point where I'm not even having communication with the company anymore. So my affiliate status with them is basically done as far as I understand, which saddens me. But luckily, in the interview yesterday with Steve, he said that there is a company that's kind of picked up the macaroni and cheese ball and running with it. So he wasn't able to elaborate yet, but He said the next couple of weeks, we'll probably know more. So with that, I'm excited because that was a product that I was really, really behind from the beginning. And, is it perfect? No. But is it something that's there in a pinch when you just kinda want that macaroni and cheese flavor you remember? 100%. And that's all I can really ask from a keto product. To me, a successful keto product is one that's as clean as they can possibly make it. You can tell they're obviously not trying to cut corners. They're trying to make a product that appeals to the diehard or the lifestyle rich ketos and not the new, and I'm not trying to gatekeep when I say this because if you understand like a lot of the keto product, the shelf friendly keto products, the breads, the tortillas, anything branded keto, most likely in the grocery store, is like bandwagon keto, if you will. They're trying to make a product, slip through, make a profit, play on the word keto to get people to buy it. Now, it is kind of a what's that gateway keto. It can help you if you're just starting out, and there's a place for it. But I think it's more important for us to get behind the smaller companies, the ones that are really putting an effort into put out a product that we can endorse, we can stand behind, not just for us affiliates or people that are trying to make, a little bit of money off of promoting them, but also being able to stand behind them because I'm not going to promote a product unless I can stand behind it. Like, I didn't become a Keto Chow affiliate until we started finding flavors and such that we could stand behind. Because if we didn't like it, I'm not going. I mean, as much as I like the company, it's still difficult for me to stand behind the product and say, "You should buy this product from us. Use our discount code, use our link, use our all this," if I'm not actually utilizing the product. Now I stand behind the company, but it's still difficult for me to say, "Well, you should like the company like I do, even if you're not really a huge fan of the product," you know? But thankfully, they've come out with products that like I said, I've been drinking the butterscotch hot, and wow, last night wasn't chocolate. I had drank chocolate a couple of nights ago. Last night, I tried the birthday cake hot. Ooh, yeah, that was delicious. I did like that a lot. So, I stand behind the flavors and such with Keto Chow, and I'll always be honest. If they put a flavor out that's not good, I'm gonna tell you, "Well, I'm not a fan of that one." But here we are. Long diatribe later. Says, "I agree on the keto brick, but also found it grows on you if you melt it and make small pucks." I'm sure we just haven't got around to that. Good morning, Danny. I am appreciative of you being here, sir. I hope you and your wife and family are well today. We have so many of them. I've tried them all too grainy. I have a milk and cookie flavor we haven't tried. That was a gift from, I believe, Jen Lucas gave that to me. We need to do a review. We need to get there's a couple of reviews that we wanna do. We wanna review, the lemon lime, liquid IV sugar free. That's been kind of a new staple in our house, and with companies like Perfect Keto no longer being around, I'm not able to get my black cherry. That's gonna hurt my feelings a lot. I don't think they're gonna have the electrolytes anymore. Their black cherry was really good, and for the brief time they had watermelon, it was really, really good. So, if you buy it from Costco, it's like $28 for 24 packets, which is not really a good price, but it's better than buying it from Walmart, which is like $10 for 6 packets, something like that. And you can buy more flavors than just the lemon lime. But I've got my knockoff Stanley here. This is a Walmart version. They were on clearance for like $8, so we got 2 of these, and this has my liquid IV in it for this morning, which is 1 packet for like 40 ounces of water and like a bunch of ice. So, little watered down, but it's not bad. This gives you a hint of flavor, which is fine, and it's not terribly unclean, but like I said, we'll do a full review on it on the channel when we get around to filming that, probably this week, depending on how quickly it takes me to edit and get it up, you'll see it. I've got a bunch of other content that I wanna record, but yeah. And then I've got the keto brick, that we wanna try again. It's just trying them. I mean, Shannon probably won't like it, but that's just how things go. Let's see, I think we felt it was going to hurt his business. Yeah, yeah, I mean, I want every keto company that's a genuine keto company to succeed, whether I like their product or not. Now, I don't have the pull or the reach or the influence that Steve does, but even with his review, initial review, I didn't think that that would turn people off of the product. Some people will be swayed and go, "Well, I guess I'm not gonna try it," because 'cause they're like $12 a brick if you buy them one by one and you don't get free shipping. So, yeah, I got some white chocolate peppermint and tried it. What did you think? Bob, good sir, how are you? Thank you for being here. So we melt a couple of keto bricks down for Brian once they're gone and he rarely eats a piece or 2. Okay, that sounds good. So, I didn't like keto chow at first. The first few flavors I tried, like the original vanilla, didn't taste vanilla to me at all. It tasted just kind of like like it tasted kinda like paper mache paste, and I was very honest about that in our video. But it's grown on me, and they've put out new flavors that I am a fan of. Courtney, thank you so much for being here. Yeah, okay, so here's the problem with my YouTube channel. If you search keto/simple or keto space simple, you will never find me. For whatever reason, it has to be keto simple, no space. Then I pop right up. But if you put keto space simple, you will never find my channel. So I try to tell everybody if I meet somebody out in public and they're like, "Oh, you have a YouTube channel?" And I'm like, "Yeah, keto simple, no space," whether they remember that or not. But if they I need to get cards with like a QR code or something on it. One of these days I'll get around to that. But I don't meet terribly lots of people in public who are very interested in the fact that I have a YouTube channel. But that's kinda where I'm at, and it's kind of annoying because I had somebody yesterday talking to me about this, and they're like, "I tried looking for your channel forever, and I couldn't find it until I searched with no space, and it popped right up," and I'm like, "That's where I'm at." So, unfortunately yeah, and I did the keto simple with no space because I started my Instagram and um I converted my Instagram over in, like, 2016 to be keto simple, and I started a Twitter for Keto Simple in 2016. So that was all no space because that's just the way that it worked best for Instagram and for Twitter. And when I got into making myself a YouTube channel, well, when I made my YouTube channel at first, you had to have at least 100 subscribers before you could add a name. So that took a while. And then when I did, it was just how I did it, no space, which I'm kinda glad I did in a roundabout way, because if I made it with a space, I don't know if I don't know if you could be find me at all, but that's where I'm at. So, Courtney's amazing. She's a good vocalist, she's fun, she plays bass. If I You're a bass player, right, Courtney? She joins, Brian and myself on some of his, live streams where we talk about music and movies and all kinds of stuff here and there. Alright, let's see. First time Uncle Big Guy says, "First time I was trying Keto Brick, it didn't do anything for me, but 2 years later, I like it. my taste buds changed over time. Yeah, and I can taste some of the artificial sweeteners in it too. So it's like salty, kinda sweet, kinda bitter. It's just one of those things, like I said, I enjoy them. I enjoy the brownie one. For me, the brownie one makes the most sense because they're utilizing the, my brain goes, "I'm not telling you what I'm thinking." Um, uh, it's the organ meat. So it's got the organ meat in it or the organ meat minerals or whatever he's using. Organ meat, I think, is number 1, and you can't taste it. It doesn't taste minerally, it doesn't taste like you're trying to chew on a penny. It just tastes like, a brownie batter, you know, and I hate to say it like this, but it's kind of like the really cheap Easter candy that I used to get as a kid, like the hollow Easter bunnies, the ones, the hollow ones, they just have a weird flavor to them. That's kinda what Keto Brick reminds me of, but it doesn't taste like I'm eating liver. So that's why I really do like that, and I can get behind the Bell's brownie because of the organ meat, and I'd like to see them come out with other flavors of the organ meat if it is palatable the same way. I'm willing to put up with some of the not great chocolate flavor of the Browse brownie because of the organ meat and the idea that most people do not find organ meat palatable anymore. 200 years ago, we did, and we ate organ meat all day, every day, and we didn't eat all the muscle meat. We gave that to the animals. But times have changed. We're big babies, and we don't eat organ meat. I need to try liver and onions. I've never had it before. I'm not sure how I would react to it. My mom was like one of those things, like if you were a kid and your mom made liver and onions or like boiled Brussels sprouts or something like that, because Brussels sprouts are delicious to me if they're fire roasted or whatever, but boiled. But anyway, I made butterscotch keto chow fudge for our family dinner today. Oh, that's some good stuff. Like the butterscotch, if it doesn't become a normal flavor, I'll be shocked. Like, legitimately shocked if it doesn't come a standard flavor. If they make it a seasonal flavor, Chris, don't do that to me. Cindy made me keto chow fudge. She's the best. So, keto ice cream is one of those things, like, there's been kind of like a regret like a regression, if that ma is that even a word? But there's been, like, keto ice cream's taken a step or 2 back. So in the early days, 2016, when I started keto, there was not any keto ice cream on the market. When Halo Top came out, which was a low carb, like higher fat, higher protein ice cream, it was still high net carbs, but then they came out with a keto line. There's Rebel ice cream, which I was never really a fan of. There's other kind of companies that have come and maybe gone. I don't know. There was a company that even had like Goody Beats had a flavor with, and um, but as far as like grocery stores go, most of them have discontinued most of the keto friendly ice cream options. Walmart used to have a really good selection. Fresh Time had a great selection. Meyer had a great selection, and they've all, like, scaled back. I'm guessing it just didn't sell as well as other options, and that retail space is that's a very high demand retail space because it's limited. So, that's where keto chow to me is hugely important because if you get keto chow and you find flavors that you like and you get a Ninja brand creamy, then you've got unlimited supply of keto ice cream that's very, very low net carbs. Like, if I haven't made peppermint into a creamy yet, but that would be sub 1 gram of net carb for an entire pint of ice cream if you're utilizing butter instead of heavy cream. Most of them are like 5 or less total carbs, so you're still coming out that's for the whole pint. You're coming out vastly ahead of any store-bought keto ice cream you're gonna find. Now, it is kind of an expensive upfront cost because a Ninja Creamy costs about $200, unless you can find them on sale, Costco. We got ours, thankfully. Cindy gave us her old one. She got a new one, gave us her old one, so we've been making all kinds of ice cream, um, and, then I've also been drinking my Keto Chow hot as well. But yeah, so the keto ice cream is good if you can find flavors that you like. Danny says he didn't like keto brick at first, but after seeing a little bit, or after eating a little bit, it got better. They do have a very gritty texture. Going to try and melt one down with butter and see if it helps the texture. Yeah, 100%. I made a keto chow shake with melted butter, water, added a scoop of chocolate collagen, had it a couple of days later, chocolate birthday cake, yum. That sounds delicious. All right, yeah, I wanna know what you think of it. Like I said, we're gonna probably film a review this week. Um, yeah. Oh, I also need to address, on Thursday, I had a live that was simul streaming to my channel. That was, former fat girl, Nicole. We were on her channel, but she told me to live stream it to my channel as well. And I was only it was like an hour and a half long interview or talk, but I was only there for about 10 to 15 minutes because my son had a blowout on his tire, so I had to go help him out with that, and that took, like, 4 hours. Legitimately took 4 hours. Um, so what happens is we go and we have roadside assistance with AT&T, our cell phone provider. You have roadside assistance on every line. It's like $3 per line. So basically, each kid has roadside assistance. I have it. My brother has it. Chandra has it because we've got like 5 people on our plan. So everybody has roadside assistance should they need it. They can come out and switch out a tire. They can they can come and they can tow the car. The problem with his tire is the rims that I had on because he has my old car, the rims that I purchased came with these special locking lug nuts, and for whatever reason, the adapter that goes on for the locking lug nuts is not well made and it's broke, so it's stripped and it's kinda cracked. So he was trying to get the tire off, but the problem is if he were able to get the tire off, with it being cracked, we wouldn't be able to get the tire on safely. We wouldn't be able to torque it down enough to where it was safe to drive, and it could fall off. So we had to wait for a tow truck, and the thing with having roadside with AT&T is they calculate where you are, where you're going, they get a contractor on the phone, they get a contractor set up, then they charge us a prorated rate per distance, and it's supposed to be nothing out of pocket to the driver themselves. The problem was the first driver that they called and had called us and goes, "Well, you owe us 13 more dollars." Now it seems kind of innocuous, 13 bucks, but we'd already paid $41 to have it towed from where we were to where the tire place is. We were gonna basically we just leave it overnight at the tire place, go back in the morning and have them replace the tire. It was under warranty, not a big deal. But because they wanted us to pay them out of pocket, I said, "No, we've already paid through the program. You need to go back to them and get that all figured out because we're not paying you anything." And they said, "Well, we just have to cancel the service." And I'm like, "Okay, cancel it." Because I'm not paying. I mean, I know it's only $13, but it's $13 that I shouldn't have had to pay. And when AT&T re or got a new company on, there was only ended up being a total of $17 to tow the car, and so we got money back. So instead of having to pay an extra $13 and being over 50 some dollars to have the car towed, it ended up only being 17. So then I went the next morning, paid for the tire to be repaired. It was $31 because the tire was under warranty. Yeah. So, but it still took 4 hours. So sitting in a parking lot with his car and my car, but it was a nice time. We got a chance to hang out a little bit. He's addicted to this Runes of Runeterra game or whatever it's called, like really addicted to that game. But yeah, anyway, what's happening here? Let me know what day. You guys are gonna hang out without me? Rude. Good morning, Christy. Thank you for being here. Let's see. Fantastic for anything white chocolate peppermint. This was okay. Reminds me of the new Keto Chow peppermint mild. That's one thing I wanna do. I need to make a double batch. I only have 1 packet of peppermint Keto Chow left. I need to order some more. Hopefully, I can get an order in before they sell out. Um, yeah. I wanna make a like a peppermint chocolate and see how that turns out. But I don't know if I wanna use core or if I wanna use original chocolate. I don't know. Choices. Maybe I have to order some more peppermint and then make both. What do you think? Thank you, Roxana. She's over on Twitter. She's not commenting, but it lets me know that somebody is watching Twitter, which is pretty cool. It's a new thing. It wasn't doing that before. Good morning, Keely Cow. Just hanging out, having coffee, talking about my week, talking about keto products and keto stuff and keto companies. My nose is itchy. What are you gonna do? Mm. Good morning, Carrie. All the way from Western Australia. That's awesome. Oh, I made a post the other day about, what's your favorite Bluey episode and why is it Granny Mobile? Can't get enough of that episode. It's just the best. Brian loves beef liver. I knew there was something wrong with him. No, I really need to try it because onions just make everything better. So one thing that I've been making recently for myself is I buy myself frozen burger patties from Walmart, the package because they're the cheapest. I've tried all the burger patties from just about everywhere except for Kroger. For some reason, they're really expensive. Um, and I don't buy the big box at Walmart because it's 32 of them, but for some reason, they don't. I mean, I buy the 3-pound bags instead of the 8-pound box. It's a little more expensive, but they don't get freezer burnt as fast. So, like, once you open that box and they start to get freezer burnt, and then they taste funny by the time you get done because they eat a pound a day. So that's like 8 days worth, but that may take me 2 or 3 weeks to eat 8 pounds of burger because 'cause I'm cooking other things as well. But I like to take the 4 burger patties, and then I will, take, uh like the chopped onions from Kroger that are frozen, put them in there, and then I take an obscene amount of pickles, like, should be censored amount of pickles. So, like, I'll get, like Kroger has these, like, fast food cut, pickles, so they're really thin, like what you would get at McDonald's, and I use about half a jar. I'm not playing. So, it comes out, and then depending on how I'm feeling or how I will use, sometimes I'll buy Kraft singles, which is not real cheese, but sometimes just really hits the spot. It makes it taste like White Castle to me, and I love White Castles. So, yeah, and then sometimes I just use regular cheddar, which is fine, or sometimes I don't use any cheese at all. But just the burger, onions, and pickle, and a little bit of mustard on them sometimes. I don't know why, but it's so addicting. It's so delicious. And it's filling, it's all get out too. All this talk about keto brick has made me go grab one from my stash. All right. Let's see. Love liver and onions. I've just never had it. My mom was never a liver and onions person. I know some people's parents were like, "You gotta eat your liver and onions, you gotta eat your vegetables." My mom never made us eat vegetables, though. One time I saw commercial where they melted cheese, they poured, like, cheese sauce over broccoli. I'm like, "That looks awesome." So my mom made me broccoli and cheese sauce, and it was disgusting, and she was so mad at me because she made it specifically for me, and I'm like, "Oh, no." Oh, yeah. I was forced to eat lamb's fry as a kid and hated it. It's a casserole made from bacon, onions, and sliced lamb liver. That sounds kinda good, maybe. I actually I don't know. That sounds kinda good. I mean, I guess depends whatever else is in the casserole. That sounds like it might be good, though. Yeah, I haven't tried the buttered maple pecan yet. My mic keeps cutting out? Well, let me look at my settings here. I don't know. It looks like it's good, so I'm not sure what's going on with it, but yeah, hopefully that makes it better. Oh, Stacy and Ken, so much for being here. I appreciate you. One of the saddest feelings I experience is when I think I have more coffee in my cup and I tip my cup up and bring it to my lips and it's empty. I understand that, and I agree. That's a very sad feeling to have. Okay, so she's coming to your house? Why does your house have to be so far away? You all need to move to Indy, I'm telling you. Jen works remote. She can come and live in Indianapolis. You can come and live in Indianapolis. We can all live within very close proximity to each other. I think that would be a better thing. Y'all just need to leave Kentucky. I know it'll be hard to say goodbye to Buc-ee's, but hey, that's the funny thing is we're looking at this this tour next year. This band called Say Anything, and they're doing a 20th anniversary tour for their album Is a Real Boy. And we went to it was like a delayed 10th anniversary for Is a Real Boy, where they played Is a Real Boy all the way through. Um, I may not have been delayed. I think it was 10. It was like 9 years ago. So this will be next year. So yeah, that's about right. Um, we went up to Cleveland. We took all three kids to Cleveland, stayed in a fancy hotel, went to the House of Blues, saw them play, and it was awesome. And now they're doing it again. They're playing the same House of Blues, which is Cleveland. They're also playing in Nashville, Tennessee. But I was thinking if we went to Nashville, Tennessee, then we could just drop by the new Buc-ee's that should be open just north of Bowling Green, Kentucky on the way down. So it's weird. I'm like, we should go to Tennessee to see this show because there's a Buc-ee's on the way. I don't think there's not a Buc-ee's on the way to Cleveland. So yeah. Thank you for joining us. I hope you're enjoying. I know the only problem I think that Twitter has is there is not a way for them to communicate with me, and, I can't really see outside of them clicking on the video and watching. Hey, Brian is such a great guy. While I was gone Friday afternoon and Saturday afternoon, he dusted, vacuumed, washed the dog beds, ran dishwasher, and did the remaining flooring. See, I knew I liked him. Let's see. My mom used to take a pound of ground beef mixed with a packet of onion soup mix, flatten it out in the baking dish, added a pickle on those small dinner rolls. Yeah. See, that was the one thing was my great grandmother was a huge fan of White Castle. Uh, I wanna say that she was born in 1912, and I believe White Castle was around in 1921. So she would have been like 9 when White Castle opened and became a thing. Now, I don't know when they opened up because she grew up in Kentucky. Her parents, they grew up in, like, in the hollers of Kentucky. They grew up around where, Billy Ray is from, so Billy Ray Cyrus, she knew his grandma. Um, so, yeah, then they I don't know when they moved to Indiana, though, but I think when, like, her and my great-grandfather got married, they had a like, their own, like, gas station business thing, convenience store or whatever at the time. Then he had all these o other jobs, he was making, like, $9 a week. Could you imagine $9 a week and supporting a family on $9 a week? That's like, your light bill's 50 cents, you know what I mean? Like, that's like the idea is just mind-boggling. So you're not so my mic sounds fine to you? Okay. I think that's what that means. A new video product, called Power Puck? I'll have to take a look at that and see what it is. If you like liver, you would like lamb's fry. I just don't like the texture of liver. I'm sure you could use any liver. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, we were talking about maybe trying to get some kangaroo, but getting kangaroo here in the States is very difficult. How is getting kangaroo in Australia? Is that something that you guys? Is that a normal meat for you to eat there? Or is that like a delicacy there too? So, like, in the United States, some of the 3 main meats that are easy to get are beef, chicken, and pork. Anything else is kinda specialty. So boar, elk, well, boar is basically pig that's feral, and then you have, we can get some bison, which is kind of expensive. Elk is expensive. Um, get venison or deer, which is expensive, unless you know somebody who hunts and just needs to get rid of some of the meat. But yeah, I don't know. Like, let me know. Like, is kangaroo something you eat on a normal basis? I don't know, like, if that's a normal Australian thing or not. But I'd love some kangaroo steaks. I think that'd be delicious. Maybe. Well, you moved to that location. You lived somewhere else and then moved to Kentucky. I was born and raised in Indiana. I do not live more than like 5 miles from where I grew up. So, I've always been here. I'm OG. Not new to it. I'm true to it. Know what I'm saying? Have a good one, John. Be safe. We'll see you next week. I have some in my freezer. I've just not had it yet. Back in, was it September, maybe? We went to Jungle Gyms with, Jackie and Ready, Set, Keto and everybody, and we all had a good time hanging out. Jen was there, Maitreya was there. Make sure we remember everybody. You're all thinking the same thing. Yeah. Now is it like kangaroo steaks or is it like if you like I've been to Fuddruckers before and you can order different types of patties from Fuddruckers. But yeah, okay. It says kangaroo was seen as dog food for the longest time. Now you can get mince and diced kangaroo alongside with other meats. I don't like it personally. Is it tough or is it gamey? Is there a good like I like lamb is expensive here. We can get ground lamb, lamb chops, we can get like rack of lamb a little bit, but I mean, obviously we don't have indigenous kangaroos, so the kangaroos we have are in zoos and they frown upon you eating those. So yeah, I'm just curious. I didn't see camel meat. I got I think I got elk and I got kangaroo, but I would love the problem with Jungle Gyms is I was expecting them to have, like, kangaroo steaks and all that stuff, like, I'd love some kangaroo or, like, camel steaks, but they just have, like, mince, like, just ground. I want, like so one thing that I've heard is in places where, like, like in the Middle East where there's a lot of camels, I heard that they will when they have a freshly slaughtered camel, they'll have, like they'll put the head outside for you to know, "Okay, there's a fresh camel," and I can't remember, it might have been No Reservations. It was either No Reservations with Anthony Bourdain, or it was, Bizarre Foods with Andrew Zimmern. I keep thinking that it was Anthony Bourdain, but they were eating raw camel that had just been slaughtered, and it just looks so good. I'm a fan of, like, raw meat anyway. Like, fresh, raw meat is so yummy to me. The texture, I love it. It's like my family thinks I'm insane, but here we are. So indigenous people are able to hunt it, but you can't, and I assume they have their own sources for it. Australia is kind of a strange place in that fact, like, and I want and not to say that in, the United States, we have the Native Americans, they have reservations where they can do things that we can't do. So, I mean, I guess it's all the same to a degree, but yeah, I mean, hunting in Australia is kind of a weird thing too, isn't it? But, I know the same thing with, like, Canada. Hunting's weird and yeah. Let's see what she sent me. I think with my live on Instagram, you have to go up and click. You'll see the top, and it should have me listed as live because I can see it up here. It might not be running anymore. I think it locked up maybe, or it went too long. No, it's up there running. I can see it. Yeah, it's up there running. I think you have to go to the top of the Instagram, and it'll show me that I'm live. You can't click on on the story itself, I don't think. I don't know. It's new. I just did it today. Yeah, it doesn't show me that I'm live, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'll go back to putting it on, You or on Facebook. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I'm just playing around with it. So she says, Stacy says she was born in Seattle, but grew up in Alaska, moved to Ohio in 2001. Do you guys have Fuddruckers? Because I don't even know, like, where the close I had Fuddruckers in Dallas, like, in the Dallas area years ago, like 2012, something like that. She assumes gamey would describe it. I love lamb. Lamb is kinda gamey too, depending. Lamb has a very distinct flavor as well. She said and Cindy's like, she was born in Cincinnati, moved to New England in the late '90s and here to Kentucky in 2021. I like Cincinnati, but I'm usually only there for concerts at Bogart's. Or I've been across the street. You cross over to, like, Covington, Kentucky, or whatever. I've been to Covington like, when you cross the bridge into Kentucky, there's, like, Covington and, like, Newport. I've been to, shows, there's, like, a theater I went and saw Say Anything there one time. I saw Dredge at a place called Mad Hatters. I think that was in Covington, Kentucky, maybe? I don't know. But, most of the traveling I've done between states is for shows, outside of traveling for vacation with the family, but. So there is one in Cincinnati? There's a Fuddruckers in Cincinnati? I guess it's been a long time since I've looked up where Fuddruckers was. I thought they were, like, further south. I know that, like, my cousin talks about going there when they live in Virginia area. They've lived in, well, DC. They yeah, I think he works for Fox News now. He's often watching, but not commenting. It says, "In Newport, down by the Ohio River, overlooks downtown Cincinnati." Yeah, I like it. I like I said, I've been to Bogarts. There was a place called Sudsy Malone's that was, like, adjacent, like, right on the same street area as Bogarts. It's like a bar and laundromat, and my friends played there in a band. We went with there to see them play. So, yeah. Oh, my TV's being done. Technical difficulties. Looks like Cook Keto Now is watching and said good morning on my Instagram. That's fantastic. Thank you so much. If I can find my mouse again. Yeah, moved to Ohio from Oregon, from Tennessee, lived in Florida too. Now I'm in Northwest Ohio. It's a lot of places. I've lived in Indiana entire life, within like a 5-mile radius. There was also a Fuddruckers in Connecticut and Foxwood Casino. Heard of Foxwood Casino before. Good morning, Maitreya. You don't have to apologize for being late. Life is life, and it gets in the way, unfortunately, but you don't have to apologize. I'm just glad you're here now. Fuddruckers in North College, Hilbert, Cincinnati, and Hilbert of Cincy too, walking distance from my house. Cool. Yeah, I remember they had, like, the bigger fries, if I remember correctly. I mean, that was, like, 2012 when I had that. It was, like, a long I've been there one time. Remember they had, like, a huge Fixins bar. It was pretty cool. Good morning, Robin. How are you? Thank you for being here. How's Callie? She doing okay too? Everybody doing good? Pull up a chair and sit down with us. If we could move, we'd move to Eastern Tennessee. So, like, Eastern Tennessee, would that be considered, like, Nashville, or would that be, like, Knoxville, Chattanooga? I don't know what would be considered Eastern Tennessee. We've driven through Knoxville, we've driven through Chattanooga. When you drive through Chattanooga going to, like, driving to go through to Georgia, I love driving through there in the daytime because driving through the mountains are gorgeous. There's this lake on both sides of the highway, and it's just gorgeous. It's a picturesque place. Driving through at night is kinda like but driving through at night also means less traffic. So, Jules says they have Fuddruckers in Flint, Michigan. Very good. I have never been to Flint, Michigan. I've only been to Detroit and Lansing, a band that I had in, like, the 2000 early 2000s. We played Harpo's. Um, that was an experience. Very, very weird experience indeed playing that venue. Shelly is here. Good morning. Thank you for being here. Callie's doing great. Rusty and I are in Cincinnati this morning. Oh, that's fantastic. I do love Cincinnati, and so I had our granddaughter Friday night because I had her from 6:15 in the morning, Friday morning till about 10 o'clock Friday night, because when Shander worked all day, she didn't get home till after, like, 8:30, and then, uh, the girl's mom didn't come pick her up until 10. They had a work Christmas dinner. She works for an orthopedic, company doing like, I think she does casting now. She did run the doctors. She was like a medical assistant, now she's doing casting, and the doctor she works for took them all to this place here in Indy called, St. Elmo's. I don't know if anybody else knows about St. Elmo's or not. I think it's only here in Indy, but I know at least in Costco, we could buy St. Elmo's cocktail sauce. It's, like, super spicy. It's like wasabi type spicy. I don't know if anybody else knows about St. Elmo's, but it's a very high-end steakhouse. Like, their shrimp cocktail's $20, you get 4 shrimp. Steaks are like $70, you know? I mean, it's high end for Indianapolis anyway, but I guess it's really good. They've got, like, soups and all that stuff and salads and all the delicious things that go along with it for normal people. Creme brulee, they had that, which I've never had. I've never even been to this place before, so I was jealous, and she came home and told us all about it. She came over to pick up the girl and told us all about it, so that was exciting for me. The Chattanooga outskirts. Yeah, I mean, then you wouldn't be all that far from wouldn't be all that far from Georgia, because like, once you get to Chattanooga, Georgia's only, like, 20 miles down the road type thing. Yeah, and, like, I think then you're, like, an hour away from Buc-ee's. I knew they had financial trouble. There's a YouTube channel that I watch called Company Man, and they talk about, like, why certain companies are successful, why they failed, or, how, like, companies rise, fall, and rise again type things where, they were talking about Domino's the other day on one of their videos, um, how that, Domino's became, like, the first delivery company, and then they struggled once all pizza companies started to deliver, then they came back into profit again with ad campaigns and all that stuff. But, yeah, so I enjoy that kinda content. So, yeah, I think they had a video about Fuddruckers at one point in time as well. Or there's also videos that I get trapped into of, you know, f restaurants that won't be around in a year or whatever, so, I don't know. We've never had them here, so they're kind of out of sight, out of mind. Unless you've seen, the movie, Idiocracy and what Fuddruckers turned into, how the name Fuddruckers morphs into another name over the course of 500 years. But, yeah. I want a Buc-ee's as well. Like I said, they're getting ever closer. So, like, the closest one right now is down the street from Cindy. It's like 3.5 hours away, which is about this it's equidistant to the new one that they're opening in Southern Tennessee, like middle Southern Tennessee, or not no, not Tennessee, Southern Middle Kentucky. My apologies. They're opening up, just north of Bowling Green, Kentucky, which is about an hour north of, Tennessee, give or take, I think. So there's that, and I imagine eventually there'll probably one in Indiana, somewhere, probably southern or northern Indiana, because they're expanding like crazy, so I guess, yeah. So you know about St. Elmo's. Okay, yeah, just really expensive, like, you're gonna drop some serious coin. Chandra's like, "It's not worth it." I'm like, "But I wanna go once," you know? She's like, "I don't wanna spend the kind of money on." Come on. She's gonna listen to this, and I'm like, "Please take me to St. Elmo's one day, please." She's gonna say, "Nope," 'cause she's mean to me. Yeah. Braggadocious all the time. "I'm 5 minutes from Buc-ee's, man." Part of the Gen Con vacation includes 2 fancy meals. Some years we do Yeah, there's, like, we used to have a place called the Ocean Air. I never got to go there either, but I don't think it's still there. They would, like, fly in fresh fish daily. So, yeah, that was definitely not something that, we would be able to afford. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I will, basically, I just send you a link, you click on the link, and then you set up a camera and a mic, and you're good to go. Pretty easy. Yeah, I send a link to you, if I haven't already sent that to you. Soon, Dayton, Ohio will have a Buc-ee's. That's about 2.5 hours from us, I think. It's up 70, not 74. So, like, you take 70, you go through Dayton and then into Columbus. Columbus is 3 hours away. So that'd be kinda neat going to Columbus meetups, being able to stop at Buc-ee's. So you've lived in Indiana, Kentucky, Ohio, all within 30-minute radius? Yeah, there's that weird little spot down there where, like, you're going on, like, isn't it, like, I-75 or 275? I think it's 275, where, like, you go out of Indiana, then you're into Ohio, then you're into Kentucky, then you're in Indiana, then you're back in Ohio, or something crazy like that. It's like boom, 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 boom. Not far from where, like, that, there's the casino there. I've been to that casino before. Your sister and y'all went to Shoney's in Tennessee yesterday, got the breakfast bar. It was disgusting. Waitress asked us how our food was, and we were honest. The manager came out and insisted on covering our food. I haven't been to a Shoney's breakfast since my mom was alive, and I was, like, in still in, like, middle school or something like that, maybe even elementary school. But I remember going and I was excited they had cereal. You'd have cereal and pancakes and eggs and all that stuff and bacon. Yeah. I think we're gonna have, so our Christmas Day brunch will be breakfast food. I think I'm gonna make breakfast sandwiches. So I'll make chaffles, some kind of flavored keto chow chaffles. I'll make eggs and bacon. I'll make them easy for sandwiches. I've got those little molds that I can use to make eggs for sandwiches. And, I think Chandra's gonna make crepes, but regular crepes because the kids want crepes. And, they're just like little thin pancakes. But one of the things that I did wanna talk about, I haven't even touched on, is holiday choices. And this was inspired by, the video yesterday that, James and Emily released, where James was talking about holiday food choices, and realistically, nobody should be able to tell you what you should or should not have for the holidays. And again, I agree with James that there are certain things in the holidays that are a little more important than maybe being on track to a degree, which may turn some people off, especially in our community. And I think it's important to discuss these things because if you're just starting out, I would recommend being as strict as you can possibly be. Get yourself in order, get yourself in a good place. It took me years to get there. Like, I didn't stray for years. Like, Thanksgiving, we'd make all keto food. Christmas, we'd make all keto food. I would go to families' houses, and I wouldn't touch anything, I wouldn't eat anything. I would just stay on track, and that was so very important for me. But that was my choice to make. I knew that I needed to do that for myself, for my longevity, and for my ability to stay on track long term. As time has gone on, I have unlocked other things about myself, like, if I go and I say no to all these things for too long, then there's gonna be kind of a breaking point where I just go and do whatever I want. So you have to find that place where you can indulge to a degree, make sure it's planned. Unplanned things are so different. So we still fall victim to unplanned things, unplanned fast food trips because, like, Chandra was out late and she's out and she's hungry, and I haven't cooked anything because she hasn't told me what she wanted or if she's gonna want food, and so she stops and picks up fast food for us. That happens every once in a while. Not often, thankfully, but it's something that does happen. We fall victim to our own laziness. We fall victim to our own urges that we can't always control. I put a video out last week where I talk about the challenges that I've had over the years with food addiction and how I've had to overcome that food addiction, but I still fail. And failure is not a long-term thing. I fail. Sometimes I stop at McDonald's and get something where I shouldn't. Sometimes Shandra will pick up fast food for us. Sometimes we have pizza or whatever, we fail. and we do try to plan most of these events. Now we know for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Now for me, Christmas Day will be basically unplanned. I'm not the biggest fan of crepes, so it's not something that really bothers me. I can make the keto chaffles that I make. They're delicious, and make myself breakfast sandwiches, have bacon, whatever I want. I'll make bacon, I'll make eggs, I don't know if I have sausage patties or not, but whatever, I can make it work for breakfast. It'll be, I don't have to clean up too much. We'll use paper plates and paper cups, so I don't wanna spend all Christmas Day. But Christmas Eve, we're planning on ordering some pizzas for the family because I don't wanna cook. I don't wanna clean up because I'm gonna be doing that Christmas Day. That's a planned thing. I'm gonna order some pizzas. They're not gonna be keto pizzas. They're gonna be regular pizzas, but that's up for us to decide. You have to understand yourself. You have to understand your weaknesses, your strengths, and I think that goes a long way with success long term with what we're doing. Now, there's a percentage of people that success long term means never breaking or doing it as minimal as possible. My cats are trying to get in the room. They don't have thumbs, but they don't know that. But success for some means being diligent, being as strict as possible, and I always recommend that to most people starting out because being strict starting out, you have to first understand yourself before you can start making those decisions and how that are going to really impact you. Some people can stray, some people can't. But that's what we're here to learn from each other to understand that we're not alone. And my sister-in-law is saying she's not coming by to visit me today. Oh, which is kind of a good thing, and she's not bringing us Christmas candies. She comes in town to make Christmas candies, and she drops off a box of it, but she's not coming today for that, which is fine. I don't get to see her, which is kind of a bummer, but anyway, understanding yourself, understanding that I'm going to fail sometimes, and I do as much as I can to avoid that. We plan for events, we do all kinds of things, but like I said, that's an individual basis. So there's things that I can do that Chandra can't. There's things that Chandra could do that I can't. And we work as a team to try to accomplish our goals. Some of you work alone on your goals. Some of you have a spouse or someone, a partner. You have someone in the home that helps you, but we all have this community. And I think it's important to understand that everybody in the community is going to be doing things a little bit different, right? So I'm gonna be always honest and transparent about what we do, how we live, because it's so important. I don't wanna put on a facade or a mask saying, "I'm perfect and I never cheat, and I'm always on a plan," because it's not true. It just isn't true. So I'm not gonna tell you that. And I know that some people get turned off or they get upset or they're disappointed with somebody when they find out that they're not perfect or they do have planned cheat days or whatever the case is. Because I remember the early days of my keto journey, and I was involved in, keto Facebook groups more than I am now, or, like the Two Keto Dude Discord group. I think it was a Discord. It might have been something else, I can't remember. But they would have things like, if you're talking about cheating, we're not trying to give you people would come in and they was kinda like looking for permission to cheat, but no one else can give you permission to cheat. You have to know that for yourself. I can tell you that I'm imperfect, and it happens because it does. But I'm not gonna tell you that you can do something if it's not right for you. You have to understand yourself, and that's still very important. Let me take a look and see what's going on. Make sure I'm not missing anything here. We are having our in-laws over for Christmas. She's bringing a side of veg. I don't eat veg, but now She feels bad and wants to know what she can bring for me. My thing is, like our kids. For Thanksgiving, the kids brought potatoes, like roasted potatoes, like these mini potatoes. They were delicious, by the way. I don't know, there's something about potatoes, like, they're not if you eat them all the time, I was like, "Mm." If you have them, like, once every couple of years, they're amazing. Weird. But anyway, they brought food they were gonna eat. We made the turkeys, we made, the keto gravy, we did that, but we didn't tell them they couldn't bring their food. We had some of it, but we knew we were gonna do that. So that was a planned thing. So we understood we understood what was going on. They took the leftovers, they didn't leave it here for us to keep eating on. And that's what's gonna happen with the pizzas. When we're done, they will take the pizza leftovers, the next morning, we'll make breakfast, and it'll be back on plan for me. Shannon will probably have a couple of crepes. She loves crepes. I've never been a fan of it, but her family grew up making them all the time. Mine did not. So it's not something that's important to me. But I love breakfast sandwiches, and I can make the chaffles, and I can make the round eggs with bacon and cheese and have a good time, and I'm gonna be satisfied, and I'm not gonna be longing for those crepes, little thin pancakes. But that's what you have to understand about yourself. That's why it's so important. Jen says, "Don't throw away your whole diet way of eating for just one day. Don't burn your house down just because you go on vacation." That's right. I mean, like, and I don't think once you're years into this, like, one cheat meal isn't I mean, like, once you're years into this, like, metabolic flexibility is very important. I think we were, as people, were designed to be most likely in a ketogenic, and I'm not a doctor, I'm not a healthcare professional, I'm not a nurse, nothing like that, not even a health coach, I don't even play one on TV, but in my opinion, and looking at history, looking at the evidence that we have thus far, I believe that we as early humans leading up to about 200 years ago were probably in ketosis a lot more than we weren't. Now we're not in ketosis more than we are as a society, not talking about our community. Our community, we're outliers in the grand scheme of things. So we are rebels, rebel dot. We're on the fringe. We're doing something that other people aren't. So we're in ketosis a bulk of the time. And an early t and you're early in your journey, being ketosis as much as humanly possible is so very vital. Now, also, metabolic flexibility for most of us, I think, is vital as well. If you're doing this for a health reason and being in ketosis or a deep ketosis is what keeps you from having seizures and such like that, that's one thing. If you understand that having just one bite of something you shouldn't have is going to cause you to spiral and go out of control for a month, 2 months, whatever, don't do it. But that comes with understanding yourself and being honest with yourself. Like an alcoholic would have to be honest with themselves knowing that one drink is never one drink. So one Oreo may not be one Oreo for you or anybody. I can't eat just one Oreo, so I don't buy Oreo. Now I'm conflicted sometimes about how the efficacy of buying the fake keto cookies, right? So you buy, like, a package of what, like, the Catalina Crunch Oreo replacements, but I'll eat the whole package. Thankfully, they're a smaller package, but I eat the whole thing. So is that any better than an Oreo itself, having a few Oreos? Now, if I but again, at the same time, I bring the package of Oreos in the house, we're gonna polish off the whole package, and that's just not a s that's not a secret. That's something I understand about myself. That's the food addiction that I have to deal with, and that's the honesty that I've had to have over the course of my journey is understanding that how my food addiction plays in with my journey. I do have to skate that line where I understand that I'm going to need to have off-plan days to maintain success, but I also have to understand that it is kinda like playing with fire because I am a food addict, and it is a slippery slope, but I also know that I have a support system in place that is going to keep me on track, gonna keep me accountable. If I stop putting out content because I'm off the wagon, then you guys are gonna be like, "Where are you?" And if I come on here and I'm telling you that I'm on the straight and narrow, but I'm eating Oreos every day, then I'm gonna feel like a piece of trash and a liar, a charlatan, and that's not something that I can do. I couldn't live with myself with that. So I have to keep myself accountable for the community, for myself, because I can't lie to you and lie to me. It doesn't work. It doesn't that's not how this works. I don't operate that way. So I think I have a decent enough support system to know that, like, Christmas Eve, I'm gonna have pizza. It's gonna most likely, in my plan, go home with the kids, all the leftovers, so then we'll reset the next day, I have my breakfast, and then we're back on track because I have all of you. I have Chandra. Even our kids sometimes will be like, "Should you have that?" Because they know. In the early days, they probably wouldn't have done that, but now they're all adults, and they look out for us like they should. We're family. We always go to my parents on Christmas Eve, huge family dinner. Everyone in my family thinks I'm somewhat crazy, maybe true. They make all the usual Christmas foods. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is like, and if to you, staying strict is what you need to do, then I support you. If you wanna have if you make a conscious choice to have something off plan, I support you. I'm never gonna turn my back on somebody because they're doing what they think is what they need to do to be successful. That's why I'm never that's why I'm always willing to talk with vegans and paleo and carnivores and ketovores and anybody, because if you're doing what you think you need to do to be successful in your health journey, I wanna talk to you. I wanna know what it is about that that makes you feel your best. Plain and simple. Our community is more than just keto. Now, obviously, we understand, as far as I'm concerned, keto is the umbrella in which being in ketosis is the overall arching umbrella that you have, ketovore, dirty keto, clean keto, you have lion diet and carnivore and all those things, right? Those all fall under the general being in ketosis umbrella, as far as I'm concerned. Others' opinions and mileage may vary, but that's how I look at it. Says we make a few items I know are safe for me to eat and a few items that I know are not coated in sugar. And that's the thing, is like, and I'm not even a big sweets person anymore. I do get tempted by certain sweet things. At Costco, they have these big containers of peppermint bark, and I've never bought that. The other day, they were giving out samples of it, and I got a little square, like a little triangle of it. It didn't taste how I thought it was going to taste. So I'm glad I never bought it because I was like, okay, that's good, but it's not going off the rails good. So little things like that are something that I like the idea of going to Costco and having samples sometimes because then it gives me an opportunity to try something without having to go overboard and buy the whole container. That was really helpful for me. That made a big difference to me because I've always wanted to try it and I got the opportunity and I was good. Just tasted like a little bit of chocolate. It was okay. It wasn't, like, super fancy. It wasn't super delicious, but I had some because I've always wanted to try it. Now they do have these gigantic, like, apple pies, pecan pies, and I'm like, "Oh, I could buy that, and we could have that for Christmas," but I'm like, "You know what? I had some pies over Thanksgiving. I'm good. We're gonna have pizza on Christmas Eve. I'm gonna be back on track for the most part. If I have a crepe, I have a crepe. I'm not necessarily planning on it, but, you know, I have plans for the rest of the new year, leading up to the new year, and I have plans going forward for 2024. Starting January 2nd, I am gonna be doing a 7-day fast, and I will try to document that as best as I can for everyone, and then I will go into carnivore month. So I'm not starting carnivore month January 1st. I would never start anything January 1st because I'm still awake when January 1st hits because it's New Year, and I'm with friends, and we may be having some adult beverages, it's just January 2nd's the way to start for me because I should say I am realistic and understanding that I'm going to my friend's house for New Year's Eve. Chandra's holiday is New Year's Day, so she'll be working New Year's Eve. She'll be working then she'll work New Year's Day, so I will be gone and then probably come home before she goes to work, yeah, so and then I will be talking to all of you New Year's Day. I have Stacy, Easy Peasy Keto, gonna be on here with me the day before New Year's Eve, and I'm excited to talk with her. It's gonna be so much fun. Be sure to be here with all your questions. Everything for her. Let's see. I have gone to my family's for Thanksgiving, stayed keto, my choice, with a ton of other stuff there. That's 100%. That's what I want. That's how people should look at it. My choice. It's your choice. How are you going to be successful in your journey? We've been keto, like, going on 8 years. I'm still not to my desired goal weight, if you wanna be totally honest, and, we did live through the pandemic, and that wasn't the best for everybody. Now I'm hopefully gonna be further along with my weight loss by the end of 2024, but I'm gonna stick with this 100%. I've been keto the whole time with discretions because 'cause I'm not perfect. I may meet some people for Korean barbecue on the 25th. That sounds delicious. We need to maybe go to Korean barbecue sometime with you guys sometime. We'll have to maybe make some plans and, somehow during the week where Chandra can be involved. So Jen's saying that she wants Korean barbecue. The restaurant here in Louisville keeps pushing out the opening date. Oh, goodness. Thank you for joining us, Stephen, over on Twitter, X, whatever you wanna call it. I have a question on Instagram. So I have a question over on Instagram. I can't click it here to check to come up on screen, but it's from Food Safety Tool. What's your favorite breakfast food? Eggs. I mean, that's almost always a staple breakfast for me. Eggs. We go through a lot. Sometimes bacon, sometimes sausage. I'll buy large amounts of bacon, and we'll go through it. Sometimes I buy a large amount and I put it in the freezer, and we don't touch bacon for a while. We just go through cycles. Uncle Big Guy says, "At home, I'm triple B and E with cheese and occasionally some nuts. However, eating out, we'll have side salad and vegetables." That's good. Yeah, Sydney, keto chow, keto bricks are an occasional treat. I really love the peppermint bar from Costco. It's really sweet. Can't start or out. Yeah, that's the thing is like that was what I liked about the idea that they just had a sample finally. I was able to get a little piece. The problem with Costco is you could take as many as you want. Like, even I've tried their liquid IV before, like the full sugar kind. They have the little cups, you can have a sip, and I was like, "That's really good." They're like, "Do you want a packet?" They'll give you packets. They'll give you the whole tube of packets or whatever. Or we've gone with the girl, and they have, like, string cheese or whatever, they'll give you the whole string cheese for her. She's like, "Okay," you know? So, yeah. I think that about wraps it up for today. I still have some coffee left in my cup, but again, this is the second one that I've had today. What I wanna tell each and every one of you, and while I do this, I'm gonna put my banner up here because I wanna thank all of my members. You mean the world to me. All of you, not just my members, but my members as well. It's amazing to me that all the support and love that you all provide to me, it truly means the world to me, and I'm very appreciative and thankful every day for each and every one of you that do show up, sit here early in the morning and talk to me, support me. You're here for each other as well. It's amazing, and that's what keeps me going. So be on the lookout for more content from me next week or so. I'm trying to put out more regular content, not just being live. But with that being said, I love each and every one of you. I hope to see you all again soon. I'll be live with Shander on Tuesday, provided nothing happens. Like last week, we had our middle kid's birthday, so we went out to dinner. But next Saturday, I will be here with Adam from Keto Couch Potato. He and I will be talking. Be here with all your questions. The following week will be Stacy from Easy Peasy Keto. And to start the new year, Matreya is joining me 3 weeks back to back. Awesome guests, and we've got more to come. So I love all of you. I'll see you